I'm Sarah Altair, and today I want to talk about getting into the flow state to speed your writing along and make it more effortless. First, I want to thank my patrons on Patreon for their continued support of this video series and also of my mystery writing. And if you would like to support and become a patron, there's a link in the description below. Alright, so getting into the flow state, and for mystery writers, we want to get clear goals, set concentration, and make writing effortless. That's what the flow state helps us do. And so I want to talk a little bit about what it is and how to get there, and actually how to be there more consistently, how to be in the flow state more consistently. I'm sure you know that exhilarating feeling where the words just flow effortlessly and the story just kind of unfolds before your eyes, and it's such a great feeling. And this feeling is known as the flow state, and it's a mental state where you're fully immersed in a task, and for us that specific task is writing. And also the flow state helps you reach peak performance. So it's a wonderful place to be, especially when you're writing. But how can you access this state consistently? And what are the secrets to unlocking your potential with the flow state? So let's talk a little bit about how to get into that flow state on demand. You know, it's easy to have it just happen, but you can do things to prepare yourself to get into the flow state when you sit down to write. The first thing is you need clear goals. You need to know what you're going to be doing while you're working on this task. Whether it's finishing a chapter or developing a character or solving a plot hole, you still have that specific goal that you want to solve during your focus time. But it's really not just about having a goal. It's also about the challenge. Yes, there's a challenge that's involved in the flow state. And your brain actually craves challenges, and it enjoys working through those challenges. So don't be afraid to push yourself and take on difficult tasks. And amazingly enough, when you take on difficult tasks, oftentimes you'll find yourself just plunging right into the flow state. And this helps you stay engaged and energized while you're working, and that is essential to maintaining that flow state. So you want to maintain laser focus. So you need to eliminate distractions. It really helps. This means it depends on what distracts you, but it means things like turning off your phone, closing your email, and telling other people that are around you not to disturb you. So you want to create a clean, happy workspace that's going to be different for everyone. I have my happiness things, like my little crazy worm that sit with me. I like to have happiness reminders on my desk. It's just going to depend on you, what you have. And of course you want good lighting to help your eyes. And some people work with music, some people work in silence. It's really up to you. Creating that flow state is different for everyone. and you want to keep your space free from distractions also. So you want around your workspace, you want to have no distractions there either. And I know I have a friend who writes. He does professional writing as his day job, right? And then he also writes fiction for young adults. He actually has a different physical place when he does each type of writing. So it really depends on what helps you get into this state. So for him, it's when I'm sitting here, this is when I write fiction, and when I'm sitting over here in this room at this desk, then I'm doing my work writing. All right. And you want to make sure that you're hydrated. And I know a lot of people get all their drinks and snacks ready before they start writing so they don't interrupt themselves and create their own distraction. But you do want to stay hydrated. It helps your brain stay focused. So water's really important. So, and one of the other aspects of the flow state is feedback, and that's the feedback that your brain gives you as you're doing your work. So just stay open to that feedback. Be open to new information and allow those new insights to come into your mind. You need to be willing to adjust your approach, because remember, we're looking for peak performance, and willing to try new things. And this can lead to breakthroughs, which is just fabulous, and help you overcome any obstacles that might arise while you're writing. All right. So effortlessness is the key to entering that flow state. And when you're in this state, you're really not thinking about what you're doing. You are doing it, right? You're not judging your work or questioning your ability. Instead, you're letting your subconscious do the work and the words flow naturally. To achieve this effortless state, it's important to control external forces that can disrupt your focus. That's why you want to eliminate those distractions from outside things, and also eliminate the distractions that might be around your desk. You don't want to glance over and look at a to-do list or something like that and go, oh, I need to do that next. And you want all those distractions gone. Because in that effortless state, you lose track of time. It's a really timeless experience. And I know if you've been in the flow state, all of a sudden it's 2 hours later and you don't realize how much time you spent focused on your task. And it's the sense of being really fully present in the moment. Nothing else matters but that task in front of you, that writing task that you have. It's a feeling of pure focus and concentration where the task gets done. And that, I think, is really helpful, because so many people have only precious moments, these moments in time where they're able to write. So when you can set yourself up to be in the flow state, it's more effective use of that writing time. So getting into the flow state takes practice. You just like sit down at your desk and go, I am going to be in the flow state now. Doesn't quite work like that. It's not something that comes naturally, but with time and effort, you can develop a practice of getting into that state. And for each person, that practice is going to be different. So let's kind of review what we just talked about. You want to have clear goals of what you're going to do during this particular session, all right? You want to eliminate distractions. and as I mentioned, it's not just the outside distractions. It's anything that might distract your mind from the task at hand. And you want to create a clean and happy workspace, that space where you're doing your writing. And you want to fully hydrate. Make sure you have your water there, and that you drink your water while you're working, all right? And you want to be open to feedback, be open to those ideas that pop into your head, and welcome any breakthroughs that might come. And you want to embrace the effortlessness. And I think that's something that you don't realize when you're actually in the flow state and things are happening. You don't realize how effortless it is until you end your session and you're like, wow, I did that, and I had no idea I could get all that done in an hour or whatever time you have set for your writing. Controlling those external forces, whatever they might be. We all have different environments, but you want to block out as much of the external world while you're in that flow state. You want to block it out, and create that sense of selflessness, where your survival instincts are not at play. You don't have to be listening for danger or anything like that. You really want to let your mind be free to explore new ideas and concepts and focus on the task at hand. And once again, practice. Flow state is not something that comes naturally, and training your mind to get into the flow state is going to be unique to each individual. That's why I'm just suggesting all these things. And of course, as always, allow yourself to make mistakes. Don't get caught up in perfectionism. I'm not in the flow state. I'm a failure. Just keep practicing, all right? So also on the flip side of that, you want to recognize when you are in the flow state and take advantage of it while it lasts. Get as much work done as possible while you're in that flow state. So entering the flow state is a process, and you can train yourself to be in that process. It takes time and practice, but you'll really enjoy the results of training yourself to be in the flow, as it were. So be patient and just experiment with different techniques and don't give up. And with persistence, you can achieve the same flow state consistently. You just need to find what your triggers are and what helps you get there when you're ready for your writing session. So what you want to do is develop your own personal flow, and it is different for each person. Just like I mentioned, some people write with music, some people write without music in complete silence. And also, just as a heads up, it's not limited just to creative tasks. It can be achieved in any task that you set. So once you have trained yourself how to get in the flow state, you can apply it to different aspects in your life as well as writing. All right? And remember, don't worry about being perfect. It'll actually get in your way. Just focus on the task at hand, and that's what you need to be doing with your focus at that time. So, take a deep breath, a sip of water, and start practicing your flow state. And one of the most important things to remember about the flow state is that it's not one size fits all. That's so important. Each person has their clues, their keys, their triggers that help them get into the flow state. So the more that you practice, the easier it will be to achieve the flow state when you sit down to write your mystery. Okay, I hope that helps. And as always, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'm happy to reply. And also, once again, I want to remind everyone that Write a Killer Mystery is sponsored by Audible, where you can listen to stories. I like, listening to books on Audible. And right now, for instance, I'm listening to Burnham Wood, which is kind of a echo thriller. Kind of, it's not particularly a mystery, but set in New Zealand by an author, Eleanor Catton. So if you haven't experienced listening to books, I really encourage you to give it a try as an author. It's a way to keep story in your head while you're doing other tasks, like something like driving, or if you're out in the yard doing yard work. There's just so many ways you can listen to a story where it would be difficult to actually hold a book and sit and read. So Audible is a way to enrich your life with stories through narration. So there's a link in the description below for a 30-day free trial. All right, thank you once again. If you like this, be sure to click the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe and click that little notification bell so you'll get notified when every Monday there's a new episode of Write a Killer Mystery. All right, see you next time, and in the meantime, keep writing.